Good morning, sliding into afternoon. Judy Allen here, San Antonio, Texas. And yes, I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent Demonstrator, and we have some very nice weather. It's warmed up. I don't know about where you're at, whether it's warming up or not. At least it's warmed up here and melted the ice and sleet and everything else. So it's very pleasant at 60 degrees with it getting cooler tonight. But I get to wear my warmer clothing. So there you go. So today I'm going to show you, we're going to make a quick and easy card with Valentine kisses. And in addition to that, I am going to show you 9 different projects and which involves a sneak peek as well too. All right, so with that, let's go down to the hands, and I'm no different than the other day. I'm not sure. My screen shows me I'm stuck, but I'm believing I'm live. So there you go. All right, so what we got here is, let me get this out of the way right there, if I can. Yeah, so I can't really see anything, so I don't know. All right, so I will check. Let me at least get my phone, so if you're out there, you'll let me know. And let me know if you can see, or at least my phone will show me also what I can see and can't see. All right, it's amazing technology. I did this the other day, too, and I'm not sure why. So anyway, there you go. We'll see how it goes. If I have to do a redo, then I will do a redo. Okay, so it doesn't look like it. From my phone, all I can see is my hands and nothing happening. So, okay, I'm just hoping something's happening on your end other than a stuck camera, because I don't know what else to do with a stuck camera. All right, I am not the technology person, but I'm at least recording so we can see where we go from there. All right, so we're using Valentine Kisses for a quick card today, and we're going to set that aside for the moment. And then I want to show you, and this is what we're going to be making today. All right, and then I want to show you some different things. So we made this last time, right? So I wanted to show you a little bit about Adventure Club, just what went out for my group of people with Adventure Club. It's always about doing different things, right? So in this particular case, Adventure Club, they're making this month, they got everything already pre-cut and die cut, and I'm going to show you how that goes in a second. For this is one of the 3D projects, and then here is another 3D project for the club. All right, so this month they actually got 6 projects, and so we'll be doing those tomorrow. So this is a card. This is actually, see how it's made. This is actually made out of the gusset bag. But what I love about this card is look at the spinner. I love the spinner. So something new that's actually it's on a bearing under there, and we just use a little white tag to hold it down. But it's just fun, right? It's just little tips and tricks, new things to learn. I love doing that. All right. Some of the tricks I'm doing, some of this is here is all in how you place things. This one actually put Velcro under here to help hold it down, but also have the ribbon. So there's just little things like that we do. It's how we make things easier. This is a pop-up card as well. Looky there. So this is actually in the club kit this month. This is all in the club kit. Everything I'm showing you right now. This is a shaker card, but it's more than a shaker card in the club kit. Right, so this is like a spoiler alert. So for my folks that get the kit every month, this is a spoiler alert. That's okay. So the trick to this is you're just putting a heart on top of a heart, right? And we're just really putting some foam strips right there. And then in addition to this, we have a flip flap in here where they have a card with seeds, and it's got a little note explaining about how to plant it. This is just my copy. And then this is the last of the 6 projects. So this one is just a star fold, and you open it up, and there you go. I really like that. I think it's nice and different, right? The tip to all this is to make sure to sit there and trim things. This is really narrowly done. Also, the other thing is making sure that you only do half of one side of it there, right? And then you put up as much as you want right there. But there you go. So those are the 6 projects for this month. Now I'm going to show you a sneak peek from the retreat coming up. Now, so what I try to do is, first of all, everything's going to get PDF tutorials, right? So I want to show you that. Everything always gets PDF tutorials, whether it's Mardi Gras Bingo, whether it's the club kit, whether it's, right, whatever we're doing. So you always get all the tutorials, right? Now, the sneak peek I'm going to give you right now is from the retreat. So what I try to do with Club is make sure that we do some of the stuff for the retreat as well. I got some little notes here. We're working on finishing up die cutting. So here's a sneak peek from the retreat. And again, tips and tricks are always just like, how do you make it work? In this particular case, right, we set up there and did it like this here, using this to tuck under. And then it opens like this with a gift holder or money holder over here. So that's one sneak peek from the retreat. Here's another sneak peek from the retreat, a shaker card. Yes, I didn't finish, but this was done with a bag, cellophane bag, but we're not going to do that. I went with a window sheet instead. And then here's another sneak peek. So there's 18 cards total. So these are the only 3 of the Valentines, because I only do 3 cards from each set. This is a book fold. It'll fold down just like this. And the rest of it, the other, that's 3 there. So the other 15 cards, right? The other 15 cards from the retreat are from other bundles and other paper, right? So there's like, you get 3 of each of 6 different type products, whether it's a combo of stamp and dies and the paper or ribbon, whatever. So like I said, there's like 6, and then so 6 times 3 is 18, right? In addition to that, we also do a 3D project, and the evening finishes with bingo, right? So tons of fun coming February the 7th. I only have 1 spot left. So if you've been wanting it, today's the day to grab it, because these packages are going out in the mail for the stuff that we have ready to go. So for us, what we do with the retreat is, and the same thing will happen with Club too, but it happens more with the retreat. Sometimes I have placed an order, right? I'm waiting for the order to come in. So what I do is the outlying areas, like people that live remotely away, I just get those out in the mail first, like tomorrow. And then if I'm waiting for product to come in, that should be in tomorrow or Thursday, then we'll get that tomorrow or Friday. Then we'll get that in, and we'll get those that are more local. When I say that, for example, I have people in Texas, right, that come to the retreat. So I'll get theirs out if I have to on Friday. So I sort of work it that way. And then locals will pick up on Monday. And that's all because of the fact that if I'm waiting for additional product to come in because we needed it. And like this particular case, right, we had weather issues, so mail is being delayed. So anyway, it all works out in the end. We always have fun. And I at least wanted to show you the 6 projects we had that dealt with Valentine's for the club this month, which tomorrow at 10 we'll do in person. And we'll also do it in person tomorrow evening at 6:45 via Zoom. So we do it 2 different ways, right? We can do it both ways, both times. It just depends on you and what you would like. We work to try to work around that as well too. All right, so with that, let's go down the hands and let's make this quick and easy card. All right, so we stamp, just so you know, everything that you saw, we stamp and we cut it. We can't stamp. We die cut and we cut the paper. And I'll see if I can just show you that a second too. I don't think I have anything to do it, but if you look at this card, for example, we cut the paper for you. We cut it in half for you. Everything you see is already cut, right? And the only thing we don't do is the stamping and the assembly. But everything else is prepped for you. So all that you do when we come to the retreat or you come to the club is we sit down and we're just creating together. All right? So keep that in mind because it is fun and I always enjoy doing that. All right, so let me put these aside. That was all the sneak peeks you're getting right now. I just want to make sure I keep my retreat stuff with my retreat and my club with my club. All right, because we are still working. We'll finish up everything today and work on packaging and getting things out tomorrow. All right, so today, let me find it right here. So we're using the Valentine Kisses. All right, so this is what we created last week, and we had another card as well. And so we got this here. And then what we're doing today is we're going to use 12 by 6 by 12 paper. And this is just, no matter what you do, this is a great way to use 6 by 12 paper. So what we've done here is, I've already prepped some of this because I wasn't sure how long it's going to take and what questions you might have. So what we're doing here is originally, you want to put the pieces together, this was over here, and this was over here, okay? So what we've done with our 6 by 12 paper is, we've literally, first we scored it, right? So the first thing we did is we scored at 3 1/4 on each end. All right, you just have to visualize this. So here's the score line, 3 1/4 inch here, and then I got a 3 1/4 inch here. All right, this is going to give us our fold over flap. So in addition to that, then once I scored it, then what I did is I set it there and I cut from this scored line up here all the way to this end line. Same thing here. I cut from the score line here at 3 1/4. All the way down, 3 7/8. I'm sorry, I said 3 1/4, 3 7/8. Cut it from here all the way down, okay? And as a result, it allows us to fold it just like that, but we're not through. All right, so in addition to that, this is scored at 1/2 inch down the bottom. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to trim this off here. So you can see my score line. Right, sometimes I have to do that. I don't know about you. This is, it's always, I like to do quick and easy things sometimes, right? Okay, so what's going to happen here is we're going to fold this up here. Okay, and we're going to leave it like that because this allows it to be a pocket. But what we're going to do here is we're going to trim this off here. You might be able to see a little bit better there, I'm not sure. It's really hard to tell sometimes. Maybe you can see it there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to cut on this score line here. We can cut this off. Now you could have done that with your paper trimmer if you wanted to, but I wanted you to be able to see it, okay? And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to take it, and we're going to trim it off. And if you're not confident with your cutting skills, that's fine. Just get your paper trimmer out and do it, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fold this over here, and we're going to glue it down. You could use tearing tape. Tearing tape will work fine, too. I'm just going to glue mine down. And then we're going to come over and do the other side. Now, so this is just the card base, right? We're using DSP as our card base. And I'm going to fold it over just like that. All right down the score line. So I don't really have to think that much about it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So now I'm going to come across here. Like I said, you use tearing tape if you wanted to. This allows you, right, by having that, here's a trick, right? This is, everything's got a trick, right? It seems like. So what you're doing here is that's allow. See how that light allows you to flex? Let's see, get that light right there. I need light. Okay, right there. So it's allowing you to flex so that you can, not only can we stick a card in here, as we're fixing to do. I'm just going to fold my, oh, I shouldn't have gone down so far. Okay, not bad. All right. Okay, so don't do like I just did, because now I have an opportunity for creativity, and I can tell you right now what I'll most probably do. So if like something like that happens, I always look to see what I have in my stash here to bail me out. Right? I end up with an opportunity for creativity that is more than what I thought of to begin with. So for the moment, I'm just going to leave it there so I'll cover up the glue. Alright, that was not planned, but we'll just leave it there for the moment. I really don't like gluing my ribbon. I'd rather use tearing tape because you can't really see it. But what I am going to do, so I don't have all this ribbon in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this off. I brought this along to use it possibly for something else as we do this, not to cover up my glue I had right there. Okay, so I'm not worried about that. That's not my focus at the moment. All right, so we're going to take a doily. So I'm going to put this doily, and I'm just going to center it right here. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come along the edges here, and I'm just going to do the lower half, right? Because that's going to almost be right there. That's almost to the center where these two join. All right, so I'm just going to dab some glue. I don't need a lot, right? I'm just trying to like get it to stay down. Make it through the mail. Make it through somebody pulling out a gift. Alright, so I'm going to put this right here. So that was originally in the plan. Okay, from there, then I also have the 2 hearts that I already cut out. That is actually bubble bath that I cut out here. This medium-sized heart. And this one here is, you got the dice to do a medium heart. And then you can also put these hearts here. So I just did them like here, just to be a little different than I've done before. I'm going to go ahead and put a dimensional on this one here. And I'm just going to put it right here, right? Because we already know it's going to fit right there. Now, you might decide, how do you decide if you want dimensionals or not? Really, it's how I lay it out, right? I look at what I'm working on, and it helps me to decide one way or the other. Same thing here is I could put this up on dimensionals, right? So if you're not sure, just lay your dimensionals on it. I have been known to put my dimensionals there and just take them off the back as well. But just do it like that there, okay? So I do want to do that. And it's going to stick to that. I'm just going to put it down, though. Not that the special peep I would give this to would sit there and do this, but I'm going to do this right here just so they won't be able to see my dimensionals right through there. And I'm just going to put it like right here. Okay? So I'm not putting a tag on this on the outside here. I will put some ribbon through there. It's a matter of whether we use pink or if we use red. But what we're going to do from here is we're going to do a pull out here. This will be able to be a pull out. And what we're going to do with this is I'm going to take this here and we're going to stamp on it. And I already know what I'm going to stamp, and let's see my little cutouts. I did pull this ribbon. I wasn't sure if I was going to use pink or the red. Got it there just in case. But this is, I think, really cute. So I actually die cut this out here, and this is also die cut out also from the same set. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just put this up the top. I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to trim this down a little bit, okay? Because I don't want that to take up the whole thing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stamp the bear, which I have already, and we're going to stamp it in black, and we're going to color it, and then I got the cute little saying that should fit under it that says, giving you big smooches. So I'm stamping it in black, and then I brought my Stampin' Blends. So I'm just going to ballpark this. I know it's going to be in the center, but see how this is going to look really cute? So I'm going to stamp that right there. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to cut this yet because I got to get my hugs and kisses under there. Big hugs and kisses. Not just any old hugs and kisses. Big hugs and kisses. So let's go ahead and get that stamped, because when we do that, right, it gives us an idea of where we're going to place and finish off the rest of it. So yeah, so if you're wondering about the retreat or even the monthly club, is yes, right? Just like I go through here, except we have more time, right? We're all starting from scratch, pulling all the things, all of our items out of the envelopes and everything else. Whereas you're getting this stuff already done, pretty much, because I'm ready to go. So I'm just going to take this here and I'm going to stamp it right here. And that looks like it's diagonally, just a second. And let me clean that off and see. Make sure I place that right. It almost looks like it curves. Maybe it curves and I just didn't realize it. But let's see here. Yeah, I'm not really into getting red ink on my fingers today. This means I go wash dishes. Okay, I think that's it. It just looked like it was slanting. Either that or it means I'm just slanting. I haven't decided which. So I'm actually going to put it just right there. Okay. So that's going to give me an idea of where I want my items to go. I'm going to say this right here. So I'm going to clean this again. Not saying I would get red ink all over me, but hey, I have managed to do that before. Alright, so now I can see how I want this to look. Okay, so I've done this here. I was really envisioned trimming some of this off. So I actually envisioned putting this right about there. right about here, right? I already know who's going to get this one. Yep. And then I'm just going to come up here like this right here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least trim off one edge here with scissors. All right, this whole thing about creating, right? It's creating your way however you want, whatever you want to do. All right, so I'm going to do this here. I just shorten it by 1. And then I'm looking to see here where I'm going to want to cut this off at. And I just don't want to cut my own finger, right? Okay, so it looks like we're going to go about right here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, let's see if that's going to get me there. I think so. Yep, there we go. All right, let's do this. So again, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue. And I'll put a little bit down here. Yeah, so this is for the free class to go, right? This is not the club, or it's not the retreat either. I just gave you a sneak peek of the retreat because I do try to use some of the items we've used in clubs, so it gives people more usage of their sets and everything and all, and gives them more ideas. And I'm just going to come here right there. See how this is going to work for me? All right. Then we're just going to color the bear. And I actually brought choices. Brought crumb cake, and I did bring pecan pie. Now, so yeah, I might cover the bear a little bit. Okay, the world didn't end. The sun's still up outside. Okay. All right, let's get the colors I got here. I got, this one is dark pecan pie. This is light pecan pie, and this is light and dark crumb cake. And let me show you the difference in colors, right? It's just a matter of what all you want to do, or what color you want. So here is light crumb cake. Make sure no, that's dark crumb cake. This is light crumb cake. Oops. It gives you an idea. Now I do have color lifter just in case. I just wasn't sure. Originally I thought I wanted this color. This is light. I just thought that was going to be too close to the bear. Or not the bear, but the framing around the bear. Okay, ooh, you can see how much darker that is. Okay, let's start off with crumb cake, and if I need to, I'm going to start off with a light crumb cake, and then I can always come back with the other. I'm already trying to think of a bear's ears, what they would look like, right? So we're just going to come here, and I'm just coming around here. And actually, that might go on the inside. My teddy bear. I had a teddy bear over here. Well, it's all the same color. Okay. So I'm just going to color this here. And then I'm just going to touch it up with a little bit of on the edges, most probably with pecan pie because I can. The light pecan pie. See if I can talk that. Say that. Light pecan pie. You know, if I wanted to, I could make sure this looks very feminine and put a bow on top of the bear's head. What do you think of that? Alright, and I'm just going to take the light pecan pie, and I'm just going to come around the edges here. I'm not too worried because I know I can come back with a blender pen and do a little blending here. And I'm just going to pull in a little of this here to pull in that color there. Let me do the other end. Alright, so there we have that there. And if you want to lighten it, right, All you gotta do is take one of these. Can't believe I didn't. I guess this must be a new one. You know, these things you do use them up, right? People think, and even myself, I always think these things are going to last forever, and they don't, right? You actually do use up the ink out of them. So I can lighten up. It'll lighten up just a little bit. And yeah, give it a moment to dry to do that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this, and we're just going to put it right here. So this is just going to be a pull out. So yeah, so whatever you do, you want to keep in mind, right, that this is going to bleed through if you use the Stampin' Blends, or especially the color lifter, but definitely depending on the Stampin' Blends, most of them will. Put this down right here. Okay, so when I put this in here, this is a pull out, right? They're going to want to pull out and find out what this person has given them. So I'm just going to have this right here, like this. Okay, so it should push down a little bit more. I'm looking. It's like, yeah, it's the same height. So it's like, yeah, it's supposed to push all the way down. Let me try that again. I can feel it. It's feeling. So you know where that joins down at the bottom? Let's see. Yeah, since originally there were no issues. I did the first one. That's what I love about being live, right? When you're home by yourself, you can make a mess, but as far as things usually work, right? When you go live, it's like, oh my gosh. All right. I'm not sure why I'm not getting it all the way down. But anyway, you can see where I'm going at. I'm not going to sit there and mess with why it's not doing it at the moment. Let me finish this off down here. And then we're going to get our bows, and I'll worry about it later. Because I know it goes all the way in. It's the same height. So I'm not going to sit there and mess around, like, right? I'm not going to let a piece of something while you're doing live annoy me. It's not worth it, right? I know it'll go in. It's supposed to go in. It went in before. So I'm not going to mess with it right now. We're just going to get this right here on here. Because that was my opportunity for creativity. Okay, and then we'll just trim this off here. And then we're going to put a bow. I know I'm going to put a bow at the top of the bear there. And I already know who I was going to give this to. So if I was giving this to, let's say, my little special peep that is 5 years old, well, I'll most probably find a bug or something to put on top of the bear's head because that's what he's into. And it would just be cute, right? I don't know if you would consider a honeybee a bug. He's really into like worms and other things. But anyway, it's okay, right? Get that off. So I am just going to cut that off here. All right, and we're just going to trim it down. I'm just going to put it right there, but I'm going to shorten it. I'm going to make shorten it just a little bit more. It's like one of those things is how tiny can you make a bow? Well, when you're dealing with special peeps, you'll just make it about as tiny as you need to make it, right? The only thing I haven't done is sew dollhouse size, you know, like for the small dolls, for their little bitty houses and all. I don't do those. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there, and I might have to trim it just a little bit more because it's looking a little big there. So just trim. It's easier to trim it little by little, right? So it's always a trick. It's like trim little by little. Sort of like if you're cooking, right? You're gonna add salt, you're gonna add a pepper or whatever. You're just gonna do a little bit at a time, so you don't do too much and you still have enough to accomplish what you're wanting to do. All right, so I'm just going to put that up there. I'm going to put that up there with a glue dot. And then we'll do something with this one right here, the other heart, and then we're done, right? So really and truly, it takes more time to plan and decide what you want to do if you already have opportunities for creativity. Right, what you can do with that opportunity for creativity. But the main thing is, right, always to remember is it's all about creating, sharing, and giving. Put that little bow right there, right there. All right, so we're going to have that right there, and I'm going to sit there and let's see if we like this better. So it's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? It's not about holding on to it. I think this is going to only look better because we have the red in the background. I think the red on the red might be a little much because we've got a lot of red going on in this one little spot, which is fine, right? I got red ribbon at the bottom. It was my opportunity for creativity. If you want to see what that looks like, if I done it down here at this one. So this is how it would look like if I tied a bow right up here, right? And be red going across. It might be fine, but I'm just going to do the pink because I got the pink bow up there. And I have the red one at the bottom, so I feel pretty good. If I wanted to, right, I could put pink right across the middle of this or the top of that, but I'm not going to do that because I wasn't supposed to have ribbon there anyway. It's my opportunity for creativity. All right, we're going to get a bow here. We're going to tie it off. Yes, so you still have time to make those Valentine cards, right? Plenty of time. Today's only the 28th. You have until the 14th. If you're going to mail it, you're going to have to allow a little bit more than that, but hey. All right. You can add bling if you want to, whatever. I wasn't going to add bling, but I could, right? I could. All right, so I have my pull-out card here. That should go all the way in, and it's not for some reason. I'll figure it out later. I'll just have to tell you what I did to correct it, because it should slide in beautifully. If you want to know, looky there. There's your opportunity right there. So it's the right size and everything else. For some reason, I'm hitting something that I can't see, and I'm just not going to worry about it, all right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving, right? You know what you did. They don't know what you did unless they watch what you're doing. So that I hope you enjoyed it, right? It's all about creating, sharing, and giving. And this is just a quick and simple way to use 6x12 paper. Make it into a card to send out to someone, and you give someone as well too, right? And this really allows you to make a message. If you don't have enough room on the message on the front side, then just put you some white cardstock on the back side as well too. So with that, be blessed. Have an amazing day. And I want to thank you for supporting us not only here on Facebook, but also on YouTube and Instagram. And I still have one spot left for the retreat if you're interested. So you can message me, or you can go out and check the links I've already posted in previous posts where you can go in and check into more details. See you again real soon. Bye.